Well, do we want to just wait for the Ezreal to be locked in as well, or are we just good to chat
No,
about him
that's
for a little
true.
bit?
Hey, Kallista's banned, so yeah, probably Ezreal.
I mean, we could still see BBD go towards the Senna. He did play that, as we said in the series prior, but I kind of like getting BBD onto an opportunity to show what he's capable of, especially when he is on the stage here and does look pretty good.
There you go, different priorities. That's a different pick and ban because Ornn has been first ban worthy now. Here in the LPL, it's risen up back to a S tier pick.
And I also think it works pretty well here when you do see the Aphelios, because having that pair between the Ornn and the Aphelios, you kind of go, hang on a second, this is getting towards a little bit of a scary prospect, so Audi willing to just take that away, it's going to have a good time. Potential for Chalitza to go towards something like the Volley Bear, which we've seen answered into it quite a few times, but we'll have to see if that is the direction that DMO want to go.
At the very least, securing the bottom lane here with Mitsuki's Thresh. This has been his best champion. And you take that for what it is. 5 games. This will be number 6.
Yeah, I imagine they are going to. It's great to have that maneuverability with the Lantern for the Aphelios, so yeah, we're going to see it locked in. This would be an interesting one. We already talked about how Lee Sin was going to be super high priority in this series because of how important it is to both these junglers, but Xiaopeng wanting to go and match that early game aggression with this Rek'Sai pick, and I think it could work out quite well, especially in just answering for these guys.
That was a nice little hover over because Xiaopeng shows us that they didn't actually pay the respect ban towards Nidalee. Going to go a different direction here in Game 1, add a bit of AD to the jungle, and the fun thing is, as we see the Ezreal, Xiaopeng has such a wide champion pool. He has the largest champion pool in the jungle right now, so anything's possible for this series.
I like that EDG have done their homework though, right? They knew how this was going to go. You leave open the Aphelios that's going to be first picked. Well, they instantly gobble up the Ornn and the Lee Sin. So they obviously have a game plan coming into this, because most teams we'd see go, okay, we'll take the Ezreal, we won't show too much, but EDG, by opting into a jungle top, are pretty much going, right, we know exactly what we want coming into this.
Wukong ban comes out, and so against the Ornn, options getting limited here for Chalitza, while Yuumi paired alongside BBD, not going to be an option, but we know what Mako likes. It's the set, it's the Nort, the Yuumi alongside it normally, the Leona's there as well. So Heat 2 has many options.
So I'm curious, to see what we're going to see from Scout as well, because we have seen very different styles where he's going towards the likes of Twisted Fate. I know the Galio has been banned away here, and Syndra as well has been a pretty high priority for this guy, but it's EDG who's banned that away. So could see him go back towards the likes of an Azir here, and then you've got that late game scaling coming in with the Ornn and the Azir, and you can really do work in team fights, but I'll have to see if that is either banned away here on DMO side or if we'll see something different.
Also, Scout played a lot of Zoe in Spring as well, so that's also available. Syndra is not. Karma, the final ban, while you talked about the Azir, see if they lock it in here or we get that support we've been needing. An easy no-brainer to get the mid counter pick.
This has been the go-to for Mako when we do see the set and that Yuumi banned away. They've paired that Ezreal Yuumi a little bit so far, but definitely going to be going towards this Nautilus, opens them up to go for these early roams and try and put pressure towards this mid lane for a Scout. This has been something that Mako, when he first joined EDG, he was well known for his roaming style, and I'd love to see it here again today.
Also in Spring, Mako pretty much only exclusively played the Nautilus.
Yeah.
Champion pool actually not as limited this split around as we were talking about this for Audi, but it's going to be Chalitza who takes it into the Ornn. As this will be a nice steal as well.
I'm not sure what they're going to go with here. The biggest issue that I'm seeing right now is that they're going to struggle on DMO's side for engage-wise. And you've got the Thresh there, but to try and get a Mordekaiser and a Rek'Sai in against the likes of a Nautilus and the Ornn in the top lane as well is going to make it really difficult for DMO. So I don't know how you're going to find that in a mid laner. So it looks like instead what they're going to do is go, right, we'll look for this later scaling when we got the Aphelios and the Azir, and maybe we can try and win team fights when EDG aggress into us, but we'll have to see if they're going to be able to figure out that one.
It's going to be super interesting because the balance now for Scout, who has his LeBlanc to run into the matchup. Scout does also play Echo, as you saw the flash over, but it will be the lock-in of this mid lane champion, who's moved down a couple of tiers, but still prevalent here in our league. So we've already built up the scaling for DMO. You look at Aphelios, Mordekaiser, Azir, and the Rek'Sai to get you through the early mid-game transition. Now tell me about EDG.
Yeah, well, look, EDG are looking for this mid-game fight where you've got Ezreal who's come online. Same with this LeBlanc, can do a lot of work off of even just one item. So EDG are still going to be looking to go aggressive around these two dregs, around that 15-minute to 20-minute mark. And then I think that's where DMO are going to struggle quite a bit, because you've got a bit of a mixed bag here where you've got an early game jungler but two very late game scaling carries in the Azir and the Aphelios. Mordekaiser is in and of itself works well into the Ornn, but I don't think it does quite what they want here in the composition that they draw.
Just a reminder, Bella's Breath can actually stop the Death Realm as well, if timed perfectly. So nice little interaction to look out for. But at least for EDG, you know, if you look at the lane that doesn't have as much presence as any of the others, you say, all right, top. And where do they like to gank? Let's go top and stop the Mordekaiser from achieving anything in this lane anyway.
And I feel a little bit worried when I look at DMO, because if the Mordekaiser isn't doing anything, well, when you get to those mid-game fights, you don't really have a carry. Aphelios still needs to get to those 3 items. Azir has very expensive items that he needs to get to as well. So by the time you're getting to the point where your Azir and Aphelios are actually pretty useful in team fights, your Rek'Sai is well fallen off. Your Mordekaiser isn't going to do particularly much. So I think at this stage, EDG are definitely having a big advantage here.
All right, we'll see. Going to game 1. We'll talk about the setup and everything inclusive there between DMO and EDG. EDG, let's just give you a quick touch-up. 2 and 3 right now, sitting in the middle of the standings. Excuse me. DMO at their very bottom, still looking for their first series win. Is it here against Edward Gaming? You'd think not, but we've been wrong before, and I don't mind being wrong, especially when EDG are involved, as that Ezreal skin as he walks out of base is hilarious. Let's go. Summoner's Rift. Again, LPL Week 5, Day 1. We're in the middle of the split. We just begun. What the heck is happening?
Time flies when you're having
fun.
though, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Yeah.
a stupid answer.
Well,
It
I
is
love
true,
you
though.
too.
It is true.
Thanks.
No, it's the answer
No,
that
I'm
everyone
walking away
says.
from you now. I'm upset now.
That's fine.
You've
No,
hurt me.
no one can see us. We're all good. Hey, nothing's changed. And by that, I mean runes. Bar the electrocute on Twyla. So laning phase is going to be a bit more intense.
Yeah, looking to try and trade super aggressively in lane with this. I mean, I'm not sure, because usually if you see the electrocute here, obviously you're going for laning phase, but going for the teleport, so not exactly going to have these aggressive summoner spells in the mid lane, but we'll see how it goes. Looking as well as Xiaopeng opting for the Conqueror. We've seen some Halo Blades and some of these types coming through, but still going to be looking for more of the dueling potential against JJ with this rune.
Good to see when we come back to Azir, we're not just tunneling into the one rune anymore as well, that there is a bit more adaptability. And Twyla going to take the first trade of the game. And I was wondering, watching LPL yesterday, what is this on the bottom of our screen? Now, this is the 10th anniversary lore book.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm assuming if you guys have WeChat, you can scan that, and you might be able to buy the book. Oh, damn, my phone's not
It might
nearby.
be in Chinese, though. It's the only thing.
However,
for the English broadcast,
well,
might be a problem.
it's a good way to learn the language, I'd say. As Mako in with the dredge line. It's traded off nicely. And we're talking about comps here and interactions. Now, we set up how EDG like to play. They look towards the top side consistently, but we also talked about the mid 2 versus 2, which I feel like is going to be very impactful here in this early game.
Yeah, especially with Scout on this LeBlanc. When Scout came over to the LPL, he was renowned for how good his LeBlanc was. So glad to see him back on this champion, and definitely a champion that can set up these mid-lane dives and ganks and fights. So I wouldn't be surprised with JJ hovering towards his top side after he goes Scuttle, if he can maybe move in towards his pushy mid.
You know why? It was the LeBlanc and the, the Azir as well.
Syndra
right,
as
because
well,
of Faker. Because
Yep.
this guy, under the tutelage of Faker in, I believe it was 2015
Yep.
when he was there underneath a substitute.
Yeah,
World
moved
champion
over to
mid laner.
EDG in 2016.
Yep, after EDG lost Pawn and Deft, which was kind of sad.
Yeah.
And then eventually, Mako was already on the roster at that time. Actually won the MSI alongside Deft. As Twyla going to get the electrocute back onto Scout, but Scout with a favorable trade. It is Corrupting Potion versus Corrupting Potion, and Scout has an extra stack, while Junglers hovering around once again. JJ topside, and Xiaopeng towards the bottom.
You can see, though, how scared Twile is right now, hovering right the way back, actually going to back off of the push in towards Scout. So not wanting to be up too far, bit worried about JJ, as we said, getting involved in that mid lane. So we'll just back away and use this time to teleport in once again and just pick himself up a nice Doran.
I just love that Xiaopeng is backing near the mid wave as well. It's essentially what we talked about with the conditions, where it is going to be the mid focus. So making sure nothing comes from JJ, who is now towards the top side clearing out Krugs. And I guess when we talk about these teams, especially EDG, there are moments where we see these slower paced early games and ramping up into mid game. Well, expect that early game to be slow for now.
Yeah, especially when we look towards the likes of an Ezreal, you kind of go, okay, well, we're going to be waiting for him to come online. We're not going to be playing too heavily around him. I was looking to maybe seeing when we get towards these later, like say the 6, 7, 8 minute mark, that we might see Mako making some roams from that bottom lane towards mid. But at the moment, especially because JJ is on the back foot when it comes to the Rek'Sai matchup, he's going to be looking to avoid Rek'Sai in most situations.
Which is why pings actually go down. You can see trying to track Xiaopeng right now as Chalisa gets a deep ward himself. But you know what? This is exactly what I expected starting out. I thought we're going to have a slow day building up to FPX V5. I'll be honest. I think everyone in the casting team's prediction was EDG over DMO.
I mean, I think it's kind of fair based on the performances so far. DMO picking up only a single win. Now, we're hoping they won't match the V5. They will go and at least pick up a series win, but
maybe.
Mid lane.
Hey, this is good fighting here from Scout, but this gank's going to come through. Chilling Smite forces the flash. Nicely timed here from Xiaopeng. And Twile's trade means he keeps his as Dredge line avoided narrowly with the help of Dark Passage bot.
And I'm not surprised to see Xiaopeng playing so heavily towards this mid lane. When you think of the lanes that JJ can actually influence, it's got to be mid. So having Xiaopeng hover towards Twilight, keeping him safe, and getting the main carry for DMO in Twilight set up just works wonders. It's a 2-for-1 when you're a DMO.
And he spotted out this Dragon take that was started by JJ thanks to the Tremor Sense. Bottom lane roams up first, but Mitsuki behind, alongside Shubin, who's making the move. And there's priority mid for Twiler as Dredgeline starts off the fight. The Arcane shift into Xiaopeng. The Sonic Wave needs a resonating strike. That gets knocked up. JJ's baited on in. And EDG lose their jungler, give over first blood. And DMO with Force still want to chase this one up. No, level 6. No, he didn't pop the ulti. I was about to say, Twiler doesn't look like he has 6, but okay, first blood and get the dragon.
Surprised he didn't use the Emperor's Divide there to shove him back, but whatever, they get the kill, they get the dragon. DMO still off to a good start, and that is exactly why you don't see Lee Sin try and go aggressive against the Rek'Sai, because the pop-up, knock-up, drop-em is exactly what we see.
And EDG started this.
Yeah, and you think, okay, EDG, you're looking okay. Scout's able to negate the mid priority there because he's got the mobility, but it doesn't matter if you're just going to get knocked around by Xiaopeng, you're going to go down.
That was not a smart play. Did not require brain to make that one happen.
Look, it's all, every Lee Sin has happened. They're looking low, they're looking juicy, you just got to go for it.
No, it was the Lee syndrome. It's been a while since we've seen that. But to be fair, JJ is the kind of player that would do it. When we first saw him on EDG in 2019 summer, it was 2019 summer, wasn't it?
Yep.
We saw him with Olaf flash over a red buff wall blind for a kill. And it worked. But it could have looked bloody ridiculous if no one was there. As Mako does spot out the backing from Xiaopeng in that bottom lane. Gives him time to put a deep control ward because bottom laners aren't there just yet. But as we track what happens after that first blood, it is DMO with the small gold leader. It is Xiaopeng who picked up first blood, which means Caulfield's Warhammer. He gets back out on the map towards Herald.
That ward actually we were just talking about has just been cleared out. So they spotted Mako going back over the Scuttle Crab. So just pop in, clear out that ward. So you're not going to get the vision or the idea as to where Xiaopeng will be. But they have a fair idea he'll be on the top side of the map right now because all those camps on the bottom side are cleared.
Will help when Twiler moves out of lane too. Scout going to pick up his own blue buff in the meantime. And across different lanes, not too much in terms of CS discrepancy. If I can piece my words together, we've got 65 to 67 mid and pretty much the same down the bottom lane. The first game in a long time that I can't, in how long, God knows how long, where there hasn't been lanes winning in CS.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much even Steven so far. And at this stage, though, we're starting to see the Rift Herald popping up, so we might see a little bit more action. Scout actually hovering around to see Xiaopeng, but
he's level 8, so actually the most experienced person in the game right now. JJ behind with the red buff just taken. Both junglers 6.
And Mako's starting to move as well. So both supports trying to make their way up here, but Mako off the bat a little bit sooner. So if EDG can start something off quickly, they can make it work.
This is telegraphed. Twyler, if he gets caught out on here, it's on him as the Tremor Sense spots it. The Sonic Wave connects, while meanwhile Mako is caught on out. Only level 5. BBD just has to watch. We didn't get the context of that one, but that's also a mistake.
Yeah, Mako started to move to try and make this play mid, was looking to scoot into the enemy jungle to try and get towards Twyla as quickly as possible, but runs into Shubin and Mitsuki, ends up falling for it.
Well, EDG, a bit of a rough start to the early game here.
Yeah.
In the early game, to get snowballing was a nice little tidbit we added in and picked there. So Rift Herald's going to go down as well.
And Xiaopeng's been doing great this matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, you already saw him hovering towards mid lane because he knows that's more than likely where JJ is going to be looking to influence. Then turns around that play towards the dragon to set up the first dragon. Now you get the turnaround play again from DMO to get the Rift Herald. So overall, this is looking like a strong start from DMO. And although we might try and compare them sometimes as a bit of a fun or a bit of a meme to V5, this is a team that looks way more proactive and can definitely work with the lead when they get it. So a little bit dicey for EDG right now.
Really is. JJ was trying to set up on the bottom side meanwhile with the Herald getting taken down and given over. We'll keep looking at top. That's nice. I don't care right now. Show me when actually something happens. The biggest point was that JJ actually stepped on the tunnel system. So he was spotted out there and then spotted out in the ward on the bottom side as well. So Shubin stays safe, comes back to lane. It doesn't really miss out on too much. Plus, he picked up the kill before. He has a BF sword and Cult. This is a great start to elaborate on what you're saying before on DMO. 1,500 gold to lead at 10 minutes.
And you get the back here for DMO in the bottom lane just before this dragon's about to spawn as well. Won't have enough gold to finish off the IE, but definitely get another pickaxe for himself, or even if he wants to go towards some boots. And then when this dragon does spawn, well, you've got a pretty solid Aphelios. Your Azir isn't in the worst of positions either, so there is a potential here that DMO can look to scrap once again, but it will more than likely turn into a big 5v5 for this Infernal.
I wonder how Scout's going to feel about that one. As 15 seconds till Infernal. Scout is just scouting. Sorry about that one. As DMO going to be spotted over a ward. And yes, it's funny that once again, the other day I talked about, LCK is scrapping a lot more. They're skirmishing a lot. This would be a 0-kill game if JJ didn't decide to blindly, like his character, go into the Rek'Sai who had 4 people nearby, and if Mako didn't get caught out. So still slow and steady as Twyla does have ulti. He gets kicked into the wall. That's a mistake. He flashes over. And away he goes right when Dragon's spawning.
Yeah, Scout wasn't quite in position to follow up on that. I thought maybe we'd get the distortion into the chains, but weren't there. And DMO are tearing through this Dragon. It's gone already.
Done it quick enough. There is a disappearance act from the side of EDG, and Dragon goes over while Twyla gets engaged on. Scout misses the chain, unfortunately. But second Dragon spawns the Ocean Soul for an Aphelios team.
Swing and a miss there for EDG, but it does mean Audi's left alone in the top lane, so can try and answer for a little bit of gold. But realistically, Chalitza a bit over-aggressive with the teleport. Definitely wasn't needed and could have hung on for a little while, so he wouldn't have lost out on a bit of experience and a bit of gold here. But it's not the end of the world for DMO.
No, it is not. Oh, it's a start of a new one at this point because the early game continues to look so successful. You take that misstep from Twyla if you're them, because you've set yourself up with Infernal for a team that scales. You got Ocean Soul on the horizon. Another Herald will be brewing soon, with this one still yet to be dropped.
I want to see him drop a bot lane. Like, I think Shubin could be a massive benefactor here, and oh, never mind. I was going to say cracking open that bottom lane can start.
I mean, he's
Shubin
here.
moving around.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, true.
Shubin is mid, so you win out on that one. As Scout won't defend this. Gold gets spread amongst DMO. We're now almost at 2K at 13 minutes. Controlled game so far. First items coming across the board as well, to note the Liandry's Torment in this topside Mordekaiser. Plus we should have that Luden's Echo Luden's Echo coming for Twyla soon.
So DMO do have this scaling when it comes to the Azir and the Aphelios, but when it comes to actually getting these fights started, they are super reliant on either picking people off or Mitsuki landing the God Hook. But if they can't, I'm not sure how they're going to start these fights rolling. So even if they get a lead, it's still EDG who might be able to just play it back, keep the wave clear rolling. So it'll be interesting to see now as we start to get to this mid-game how DMO want to operate, because they definitely have a lead. It's just about how do they try and extend this.
How they use Xiaopeng and Mitsuki will be a further conversation there. But in the meantime, DMO continue. And you know the problem is with slow games is that it's all well and dandy, but we've set our audience up for this region being not only the best, which is still true, but bloodthirsty, risk takers.
It was the same with myself and Munch for who was LGD and IG.
Yeah,
we came in, we had our whole
the
fight night segment, and then it was 20 minutes, not a single kill, and we're just like, I am so sorry.
You went from
for
Fight Club to like Bridget Jones's Diary
went
or
to
something.
the book club.
It
was the book club.
It was literally the breakfast club, right? You sat there and you talked. Things got heavy at some point, but the whole movie was really about talking. So I still don't rate that movie, by the way. Have you seen The Breakfast Club?
I haven't. I'm just nodding along in solidarity, just being like, yeah, I get this reference.
Dude, it's an old school movie, and look, okay, it's still good. But it's not as great as people make it out to be.
Is that Breakfast at Tiffany's, or is that a different thing?
That's a different.
Is it? Okay.
And that's, you know,
it's a good song.
What about Breakfast at Tiffany's?
So,
that's a good song.
It is a very... We ended up singing that somewhere. I think when we were out exploring, didn't we?
I think we went to the...
There's the Yuyang Gardens?
If people haven't been to Shanghai, which, you know what, not everyone's been here, is Scout wants to show us he still does damage with the Luther's Echo. I was going to say the French patisserie place. That's what we went to. It was fancy.
True.
It cost like a bombshell. Dude, you make something look like France, and it suddenly costs like 200 RMB for a meal, which is like 40 Australian dollars, which is ridiculous for Eggs Benedict. Very upset about that. I will say, parts of Shanghai are like double the price of Sydney, and Sydney's already an expensive city. As Hook goes out. Xiaopeng actually on the wing here, but JJ's there as well. We start off with the box down, but they haven't spotted out the Rek'Sai, who hasn't come in yet. Teleport to be burnt over the wall. DMO's bottom lane. Go. It's EDG on the run, and it was a double while Xiaopeng is the assassin on the back line. Shubin sends out the ultimate, and EDG are behind enemy lines. They will get the trade off. The kills go fast, but BBD going down there is a win for Xiaopeng.
I mean, it's a 1-for-1 when all's said and done, so unless they're able to turn this into something more, they're actually losing out. They invested 2 teleports for that. You still have Twyla, who's free farming here in mid. Won't quite be able to get the turret before JJ and Mako come across, but I mean, DMO still doing a relatively good job here.
Yeah, they are. Turret plating goes down. I guess the only thing that could be worse for EDG is if Chalitza here was getting those turret plates, and Twyla able to do the same. So we reset. Everyone goes back to their lane. Now a bounty on Xiaopeng. Now a Mordekaiser who's been whacking this thing for a while gets first turret blood.
And he can shove in this wave, push it right the way in, and then look to start moving down, because someone's going to have to deal with this Mordekaiser in the top lane while this dragon is spotting. Yep. So for DMO, you could even look to trade this dragon if you really wanted to and help Chalitza. But yeah, no, instead, Chalitza is going to start moving down now. You can see pings galore going towards the Mordekaiser, while DMO just go for third dragon.
I guess EDG were like, okay, we don't care about giving away this dragon. We'll contest for the next one while we all move up to Herald. Chalitza, he can solo them out, but he's a level 12 Mordekaiser. Wherever he takes in the death roll, probably going to die. Xiaopeng makes it so DMO are on soul point. This early game, yet again, has been nothing but control here for DMO.
Really, really strong. And the thing is now, with this Dragon Soul being on the cards, DMO's answer to how do we get EDG to come in on top of us is presented. Just let EDG come and fight you at this Dragon, then you can start to open up with this Azir. Then the Aphelios, when you've got Scout, JJ, Audi all up in your face, then they can start to bust out all that damage.
Important to note that JJ wants to set up the Herald right here, right now, gets dropped on down. There's going to be a bit of pressure for DMO. We'll see how they respond, because mid pings are going down. That turret's still standing while EDG finally get a trade back. Scout gets hooked on. Mitsuki steps up nicely as the shurikens fly fast and plenty. While DMO, they get the bottom lane turret anyway, so it turns out it is a trade.
Exactly, and especially when they've invested the Herald for that top turret, it feels like DMO are still coming out on top, but Shubin does need to be careful. Don't you tempt fate there.
Dark Passage is safety.
I've seen enough Nautilus hooks pull you out of Dark Passage to be a little bit scared there.
You're not wrong about that one. And we reset. Now, Herald was taken and used top. Next, we're going to wait for that Ocean Soul. And the way this game's been going, Who knows?
I don't even think we're going to wait for that. I think we're going to see some scrapping around this mid lane turret. It's the last one to go down for DMO. They have both these side lanes open. You push them in as Twile and Chalitza, and you collapse on this mid lane, trying to just shut down that last little bit of defense. And it opens you up so beautifully then when Baron's here, because you get all that good vision control into the back of the pit, and it just makes things so much easier for team.
Yeah, that's true. I guess by the time we get towards that as well, we should be seeing the second items come out if they do manage to find that turret as well. Twyla did go straight towards the Nash's Tooth. Now, I apologize. I remember that Azir builds. We sit on the Lost Chapter, we get Nash's, then we upgrade. So second item well on the way. Also for Chalitza, who's going Nash's himself as a second item. And the Renan's Hurricane, of course, for Shubin as his second. While for EDG, they're trailing behind, waiting for that Trinity Force to come out of BBD, waiting for Scout to start building components for his second item, and Sunfire for Audi in the top lane.
Yeah, he'll be working on that Sunfire nice and early here. When he gets it, it'll be a little bit more difficult to deal with in team fights, but at the moment, I mean, DMO are kind of just happy to sit around, although as I say that, Xiaopeng, don't think he wanted to connect with that.
I don't think he wants to be here, because EDG are waiting. Scout goes in for another distortion, spots him out, runs away. No tunnel for you.
But you can see here, DMO are just like, cool. I mean, if you are going to go for that play top, we can just push in towards this mid lane, and they won't be able to shove in as quickly as they would have liked here. So you will have some support from EDG, but they need more than what they have right now.
You said that forces, here they are. Why does that turret do so much damage? Well, 10.12.
Do you want an answer?
No, 10.13. You said he gets nerfed, because I don't look at patch notes for a patch we're not in.
He doesn't.
Oh, no.
It's a small.
Isn't it the chakrams with neutral monsters?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a start.
I mean, it's somewhere.
You know, I don't think there should be as many chakrams. But, I apologize. Every time I'm on broadcast, I just talk about Aphelios. To be fair, though,
he gets so many chances to because he's picked every single game.
People are starting to ban him. Yeah. I'm surprised he's not banned today, because yesterday, I think he was banned almost every game, if not every game. Kind of impressive to see people like, actually, this champion consistently adds a threat that we shouldn't deal with. Imagine flipping a coin and going, it's kind of a rigged coin. Chances are 60% will go on heads, but the other 40%, I'm willing to take that risk. That's Aphelios. As we're back into the lull state. Welcome. 50 seconds till Dragon. Let's get there faster, and then we'll pull ourselves out of it.
Well, the nice thing here is BBD just finished his Triforce, so not going towards that Iceborne Gauntlet build, realized, look, this mid-game isn't going quite as we want. I want a bit of a later game punch, so going towards that Triforce also gives the opportunity for Audi, obviously, to upgrade it. So this is going to be working out where EDG, at least with the Orin and with some of the item choices that they've gone for, can contend for a bit longer with DMO when it comes to being able to take these fights. But I think still, EDG can just look to have BBD poke a lot of DMO and try and just play back a bit before engaging onto DMO.
BBD's damage is going to be pretty evident soon enough as we ARAM for a bit. That's the EDG way, apparently. The Death's Grasp almost connects, but Audi walks away. Just to clear mid as the Dragon now spawns. They do not want to give Ocean Soul this early over to DMO as Xiaopeng gets bursted out a bit.
Yeah, EDG don't want to give mid priority over towards DMO right now because they can just march down mid, give over that.
Oh, Mitsuki, the big player in town, with the box light down, and Mako has to flush away. Drench Light interrupted. Call the Forge God. This is super defensive. It lines up three, but Scout in the backline brings it back with Xiaopeng. They also find another in EDG. The damage coming out. Until Shubin. Yep, this is happening. One more auto until BBD says no. And EDG were losing the fight until they got that Aphelios. Now Scout shuts down Twyla, and now Mitsuki has to run for the hills.
And finally, EDG find the team fight that they want. You can try your best, Mitsuki, but eventually you will fall. And it will be EDG aim to get the Dragon, get some much-needed goal back in their favor, and start to have a bit more impact in this game.
I'm so glad I just saw those low health bars. I saw the Inferno, I'm like, no.
It was close. If that Calibrum had landed onto BBD, there's the potential there that Shubin does continue to pop off. But BBD does a good job at the end to shut him down. But you can see already this poke is becoming too much. Mitsuki, that hook was beautiful to start things off. It was just unfortunate that there wasn't enough follow-up to try and keep it going. You see here, everyone from EDG is spread out. BBD hopping around, relatively untouched so far until this massive amount of damage comes out from Shubin. Here though, if you'd actually managed to land that Calibrum, that could have been the difference in that fight. But not quite able to do so, and Scout popping back in as the LeBlanc, able to close out DMO from the end.
Big Daddy, that's what it takes to jump back in a fight like that. Very impressive stuff from the stand-in AD carry, who's standing in over Hope, remember. He's one shot away to do that was a lot. As EDG, after fighting the fight, they deny the soul, they run mid. Also another shout out to Scout in that fight, who taking down Xiaopeng was a crucial factor as well.
Taking down Xiaopeng, getting onto Twyla as well, because this is what we're talking about, is that if DMO can set up where you've got Shubin in a safety position behind Twyla in the Emperor's Divide, maybe he can make these plays happen, but he wasn't quite able to get going there as Shubin, but still, DMO, you're starting to see, even if EDG are just looking for these all-out engages, there is the opportunity that DMO can fight back.
Yeah, at the very least, I want to talk about items again. We got 2 items for Scout, who's got Morello second, but we got the Trinity Fusion now picked up by BBD, thanks to Audi. So the upgrades are starting to come across as well, but DMO is starting to look for a pick. Mako, the hook was shallow by about an inch. The True Shot Barrage tagged everyone. Now they'll be spotted out with health bars that have been damaged. Okay, red buff does go to JJ. That was tagged by Shubin.
Also looking at Scout, who's down in this bottom lane. This is kind of the nice thing about having a LeBlanc in your team, is that she can take over that split push role when she's got the teleport. Because realistically, you want Audi with your team at all points in time, because he just provides so much more when you can pull that engage at any point in time. So Scout will be trying to push against Chalitza at the moment and can chip away at these turrets and make it a bit more difficult for DMO to have Chalitza in these fights.
But on the note of Scout, we want to see what we saw with Rookie. I can't specifically remember the matchup. I believe it was against Suning, where Rookie was on LeBlanc and Juan Fong just got deleted.
Yeah. Because
Rookie was jumping into the cracks of vision, jumping into brushes where Suning weren't checking, playing the LeBlanc to its limit of being an assassin.
Showing how you can hard carry.
Yeah, when you're this far ahead as well with 2 items, Scout will destroy Shubin, Scout will destroy Twyla, catch the carries off guard, and push EDG to that gold lead.
And that's what you can do here as Scout. If you're off on a side lane, pushing that lane super effectively, and then try and sneak through the gaps of vision. Because, I mean, if you're able to push in towards these this tier 2 on the top lane, or even push in that tier 1 on the bot, you have the opportunity to slip into the jungle unbeknownst to DMO as to where you are as this LeBlanc, and maybe pop out when they least expect.
Because props to DMO, they are controlling vision quite well, but this is what we wanted to see, forcing Twyla away. Now, it's hard to lock down the Azir, but escapes, gets damaged, pulls away.
And this is why we wanted to highlight the solo laners for EDG coming into today's games, because we are seeing them step up and have standout performances. Once again, Scout's hitting 3-0-2, the potential to carry this game and bring it back for EDG. That's what we want to see from this guy.
At the very least, we're to a point where we count down the timer of another Dragon. We look towards the Baron. We've got a team like DMO that are pulling back with the Aphelios, with the Azir, that are just building items and absorbing farm. Even Chalitza, the same towards his third. While for the side of EDG, you can see getting very proactive in this bottom side river, setting up for the next Dragon, setting up for that fight that could push them forward. As I want to also note, Scout has an 8 stacks Magi's that could increase next fight.
I love seeing the Magi's come in, especially when you have to get like so close and personal as Scout to try and set off these big plays, but I have to see if it is going to pay off. One of the other interesting items there is going to be the stopwatch actually for Xiaopeng. I know he's building towards the GA, but having that stopwatch now and the flash available for this next fight means that now Xiaopeng can be that engage tool, that key factor that's been missing a little bit from DMO. But this is why Rek'Sai is one of the champions that's so reliant on having a flash.
It was the highlight in the early game for DMO. His teleport's going to be channeled. Scout now spotted out over the wall. True Shot Barrage. And we're back to mid again. Let's go. Search for mid priority and then go to Dragon. We're gonna fight mid, are we?
I mean, Audi, I'm expecting that call to the Forge God any second.
Scout wants a lockdown. Damage onto Mitsuki once again. The support at half health, but Audi's building items in the middle of the battlefield.
That's the confidence. That's that pizzazz I like to see.
Oh, he's got a Warmox now.
Here we go. We are going to be starting this Dragon up. EDG this is a little bit risky. You can still potentially have Xiaopeng just go in for the steal, get the soul.
Nice Bellows breath. Mitsuki going to follow through. The dredge line pulls him back. The box down. Over ambitious. He flashes away. And this means a call to Forge God as Chalisa interrupts with the Death Realm can't be used. Twyla is kicked back into the enemy team. And EDG have given space to BBD, who lines them up and takes them down. Jeje takes on the battle in the backline meanwhile. And Shubin is rendered useless. EDG take the fight. They're going to deny the Dragon and kill the Big Tin Man with Big Daddy once again.
BBD with the triple kill in that fight. And EDG managing to set it up beautifully. They will get the Dragon, add a second one to their level. Manages to get the mid-turn, and they can set up beautifully now for Baron on the way out of this push.
What am I saying? It's Big Bad Daddy. That's what he is. BBD has shown up massively in this game one. And again, the fill-in doing what he doesn't really need to do at this point is, okay, Shubin's going to do that. Everyone get over it. They do still get the turret in EDG now with a gold lead and heading towards Ocean Soul themselves into Dragons.
And BBD is not disappointed coming into EDG whatsoever. So Mitsuki, a little bit over-aggressive. I don't think anyone on DMO was ready to go for that play. But JJ here as well, managing to catch Twyla, was so important. He was going for that big Emperor's Divide onto BBD, but the kick sends him flying. Twyla's got nowhere to go, and at that stage, it's open season for BBD. There's no more CC, there's no more anything.
The kick looked good, but you could imagine if Twyla just ults there, BBD probably gets shoved into the team.
Oh, yeah.
That was almost a little bit too scary as well, so good to see it worked out. And at the end of the day, we come out of that fight, we come out of the Dragon take. We still have a Baron on Summoner's Rift, but more importantly, EDG are getting a lot of these upgrades across that line. Yeah, you're not going to see it now because we're looking at damage. But everyone bar Mako has an item upgrade as BBD's damage is at 5k from that last fight.
The thing is, though, Shubin now has his second Zeal item completed. Thank you for dropping. So the Phantom Dancer just coming in. Looking at Twyla as well, working towards that Banshee's Veil. So it's going to take a little bit longer to come into play, but he's going to be even more difficult to deal with, especially for the likes of Scouts. So these items are starting to get rolling for DMO as well. So EDG, although they are ahead, aren't quite out of the woods. They need to make sure they continue to have these clean fights, or maybe even just pick off Twyla.
They were trying, but of course they're going to get spotted out with getting rid of the tunnel system. 4 members top side, EDG having top priority on top of that. Means they have access to the river, but a really good ward placed in front of the Baron that's not spotted out by any of the control wards. Means DMO don't have to go and check this. They can play safe. EDG need to clear that ward.
EDG are getting full control, though, of this top-side jungle. And because, as you said, that ward is there, Chalisa is free to keep pushing on bot side. Now they're starting this up. Chalisa will have to start walking, but EDG just baiting and moving.
They've started it, stopped it. DMO don't know at this point until Jeje gets spotted out. But call the Forge God, Shubin gets pulled back on in. Audi presses R a little bit too early. Shubin dodges away from the two-shot barrage. And Audi, that's not characteristic of how he's been playing usually, but I digress.
Shubin now back up healthy, so with that rep buff, he's able to heal him nicely. So DMO don't lose anything.
Well, Mitsuki caught on out, goes golden immediately here. Mako tucks up the damage as the poke comes through. The true shot barrage not used, sorry, it was Shubin's ulti I was looking forward to as the poke again onto Jeje. DMO have an advantage as Mitsuki finds BBD, but it's cleansed QSS rather away. DMO now have been priority and a wave pushing up. EDG are on the wrong side of the rift.
They have to do something. They can't just let DMO keep pushing. You've got chakrams for Shubin. That'll be something. In.
Yeah, he did. That's big. Onto the jungler. EDG now want to go back home. That's Audi driving the wrong damn car in this one. And DMO are torn apart because this Ram had to go and jam right back into DMO.
The headbutt to knock up the entirety of DMO. They say, this is our turf. You get back to the base.
It is a Mordekaiser, but BBD silences that thought. Does take down one with him. Slows the pace, but EDG trade 5 for 1. And Baron is now theirs.
6-0-6 for Scout. BBD on 5, 1, and 7. These carries on EDG are stepping up, and even though Audi had a little bit of a misstep with his ultimate, the Siri charge was on point in that fight. Baron secured for EDG right before this third dragon spawns as well, or at least what I'll assume will be the third dragon for EDG, because I don't know if DMO can try and fight this.
Well, people will still be respawning. 22 seconds there with a 48-second death timer. Baron, as you mentioned, secured for another 245 left of the buff. And it begins. DMO trying to get here early, clear out some vision, and set up some of their own. Remember, Chalita does have teleport if need be, but Aldi does as well. And the table has turned. Shubin started off the game well, but BBD now in a clear advantage.
Eddie's trying to see if he can come in. Has teleported, so I was trying to see if he's looking for a flank situation with the Call of the Forge God, but looking to just get here nice and quick and try and get some control back of this river. Yeah, I gotta be careful here as DMO.
Xiaopeng gets half health. Has the GA now available? Might not matter. A flay away from Mitsuki needed. Stretch lines there. Twyla uses a big team fighting ultimate from Scout, just poking his head. Trisha Paraj even tags him on the way out. And EDG have Dragon.
No TP for Twyla either. Use it to try and shove in that bottom wave. So EDG now free to start this up. DMO were so spread out. And EDG just take advantage
I mean, they're just lucky that this is not the soul, but they want to steal it away. Xiaopeng burrows in against the wall, flashes in. No vision, steals it. GA is going to be worth it here as Call the Forge God used. Maybe just the nail them down at the end. There's pings going down, but that's it. Soul for a kill onto Xiaopeng.
That is big for DMO. The fact that they now have this soul and you're actually getting to a point where Twyla and Shubin have the potential to carry these fights. That extra little bit of health is going to mean so much for what is a fairly squishy roster, to be honest.
Sometimes I wonder how Lee Sin's with, I think he either has a level advantage or same level as Xiaopeng can lose that. But still a big move. Now for the Baron buff. This is the other part of the play where EDG are going to start knocking down turrets. It's JJ by himself. The rest of EDG in the fog of war towards mid, pushing for the inhibitor.
Hook won't land from Mitsuki. You got 1 second left before Xiaopeng is on the card. So now DMO can potentially try and do something, but see these waves collapsing at the same time makes it so difficult for DMO to split their focus between bot and mid.
But they have so much wave clear in the form of Shubin. He walks down with Infernum and the wave's gone immediately.
He needs to be careful though, Scout. It's not someone I'd mess with right now.
I will say, with heal available, might be okay, as DMO are going to forfeit this one. The hook lands, boxes down. They want to fight here with everyone available and Ocean Soul. Shaliza gets knocked on back, but he's going to heal up, but BBD finds the first pick while EDG are quite low. The knock up there with Call the Forge God is out. He gets whacked on down. Mitsuki fails the next engagement. Shubin still at full health with the ultimate from Twyla sending Scout back. Shubin says it's my time to shine. Wait for this one as DMO are chasing up and EDG are on the escape out.
And look at the regen that's coming in on DMO right now. They're full health again, chasing on to EDG. They need to go get their waves in order though, so they won't be able to capitalize on this, but you can still see EDG, they need to be a little bit cleaner in the way they broach this.
There's no objective up. That's the one downside here for DMO after the fight.
But you can see a couple of nice plays obviously coming into this. Mitsuki with that first hook. You also with Twyla coming in with this big Emperor's Divide, but the big thing here is more so just Shubin being able to free hit on the back line, Scout, or Twyla as well, on this Azir, not being pressured in this fight by the likes of Scout, means that they're able to far better deal with the engage from EDG, and although you're investing a lot of damage into taking down Xiaopeng and trying to burst out this Mordekaiser, that's where Twyla and Shubin are perfectly happy because they're not the ones that are soaking all this damage.
And now Shubin's pretty close to getting his flash up as well, so this GA Aphelios, who's also got Death Dance as of now, is full build. This is a scary point for EDG, as that Ocean Soul is non-refundable. We've got an Elder coming up in 3 minutes. If DMO get that, the game's over. This team with Aphelios and Azir, the game's over.
And think about Death's Dance with Ocean Soul. I mean, it's such a nice combo where you're just healing back all that resisted damage that goes off of Death's Dance. So, I mean, right now, for Scout, it's super difficult to try and burst out Shubin. It's also going to be really difficult to burst out Twyla because he's got that Banshee's Veil. So, Scout now is going to struggle to be in these fights, which is why now EDG are opting to just have him play off in these side lanes a little bit more. Make sure that he's either coming in after the Banshee's Veil is burned, or he's just going to be able to take towers on his own.
But you know what the bonus is to an Ezreal and a LeBlanc? Is their ability to burst out someone like Shubin or Twyla, force that GA. Ocean Soul doesn't come in, it's over time. So you look for Scout to carry with a pick and bring this game back into more of EDG's favor, especially towards Baron that's up in 50 seconds.
This could be the very last team fight, Hysterics. That Baron could mean do or die for either of these squads, especially when you look at EDG. Having that extra Baron buff again to try and shove in these waves will be super nice right before that Elder Dragon spawns. But DMO as well, trying to get some of their waves a bit beefier would help out, just in trying to get some semblance of control over the waves again.
With Twyla matching Scout towards the bottom side. Xiaopunk's here, level 14 to level 17. JJ is 3 levels ahead in the jungle. This is going to be so hard if you want to steal now. 120 damage difference, plus the execution on Lee Sin. So we'll see how it goes for DMO. And if they can elongate this game any further. EDG with a 6k gold lead, full builds coming out left, right, center. Baron now up. Scout has joined the fight.
There's no real pressure on EDG right now, though, because bot wave is eventually going to start pushing back in. Top is already shoving in EDG's favor as well, so they're free to just try and play with DMO for a little bit, try and keep them off of these side lanes, and eventually they'll start chipping down at these turrets. But TP mid for Twyla.
Yeah, he wants to be in position immediately, as EDG are going to see that as well. Sit mid as we have this whole game. Scout in for the flank. But Shubin's grouping up with the rest of them. Mitsuki shallow on the hook versus Audi. Twyla starts poking. Mitsuki at half health. Needs to hit someone for the Ocean Soul. Mako goes into the engage, stopped by the Pillar of Audi. Scout running away from the death grab. DMO are grouping up. True Shot Barrage tags him on the way out. Mako wants to start the engage with Audi's ultimate to knock him out. That could be it. BBD targeted as he flashed away from Twyla in the backline. Look at where Scout and EDG's Eddie carry are, but Shubin in the middle doesn't die because Aphelios with Ocean Soul just continues to do the exact same thing he does without it. Severum in hand, the fight goes off on the backside with Scout and BBD looking for Chalitza. They group on in with JJ. Now in the mix, Mitsuki dies first, but Chalitza healing up. EDG are in a choke, and Shubin's there to say, g'day, this champion is throwing shurikens at your face yet again.
And now we just got Chalitza goes, right guys, I'm done with this. Play keep away with Scout. I want to shove in for this inhibitor in the mid lane, but it looks like a bit of a split call because you've got Xiaopunk and still Shubin who are moving. Oh, okay. Still GA, still got GA, so.
But
yeah, Shubin needs to try and play keep away right now. He has a lot of shurikens, so if Scout comes over the wall, he needs to be careful.
he was trying to burst down Xiaopunk. To be fair, he was close, but Elder's now in hand with an Ocean Soul team that also has Baron. You have an Aphelios, and the Mordekaiser's going to help a bit. This should be theirs as well.
It looks like they're going straight towards it, but here, as he talked about, Shubin is completely untouched. And even though JJ does manage to shoot him in, there's no damage there. Scout and BBD are both focused on Twyla in the backline, so Shubin recovers with that Severum and the Crescendum, heals up, takes over the fight, and now we get it. Elder Dragon, we get the Baron, and EDG is not looking too happy for you right now.
Even the healing from Chalitza. I don't think Shubin went past full health that entire time.
No.
Yep. Props to Chalitza. I think he's having a really good game one on this Mordekaiser as well.
Yeah, you can see the damage that he's churning out in these fights. It's absolutely incredible. So, I mean, DMO looking pretty good in game number one here.
Yep.
Especially, look, able to control this early stages of the game. We're taking over the Dragons nice and early. We're getting some of these Rift Heralds, getting gold in their favor, finding favorable fights. So, gotta give it their due, especially off the back of Xiaopeng controlling this jungle matchup in the early stages, which we said at the start is going to be super important for this game.
It was. Even with the level disadvantage, he's caught up a little bit. I was going to say, Shubin, stop taking camps. Give it to Twyla. Give it to Xiaopeng. He's full build. He's sold his boots. He's got a BT now as well. No wonder he didn't die in that last fight. He's never dying. If Shubin dies this game from now, then he is just not a good player. I'm sorry. But with those items, unless the EDG find the biggest pick of the century, then wow. DMO are aggressing here. A hook lands. Audi is going to use that QSS once again that he's built for Chalitza. In fact, pretty much everyone on the team has one. Bar Scout.
Yeah, but Scout is going to be trying to play keep away right now, you can see. So at least this DMO slowly pushing in here, trying to see if they can get this chip damage. It is difficult when you are on Twyla and Shubin because you don't really have the range in a lot of situations, so you got to aggress as a unit to take down these structures. But EDG going to back away.
Okay. Well, Scout here for the flank once again. The Elder buff is up for 10 seconds. DMO need to pick the fight now or potentially walk back. Still feeling confident with Baron in a minute. You can see in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Elder has expired. EDG, hold on.
Looks like they're going to go and grab that second turret, though. He's still got a little bit of time, as you can see, on that Baron buff, so just trying to use those last few seconds to see if they can eke out one more. And then it becomes a case of rinse and repeat. They can start to, well, I was going to say finish off items. They've only got one item left, really, for Twyla, and as we talked about, Shubin well on his way. So at this stage, DMO are hitting critical mass, and EDG are struggling to deal with it.
It's going to go down like paper. JJ getting a kick, Scout getting a pick, BBD being able to punish Shubin. Auto's not doing too much to Audi and Mako at this point, but the wave gets cleared. Mitsuki getting close to a hook. As Dredgeline starts, and look at where Scout is for the flank. That knock up from EDG. The Wombo as well. Shubin gets knocked up and into GA. Audi re-engages with the Searing Charge, and they've found the pick against the wall though. Twyla with his ulti, and Ocean Soul does the rest. Twyla has one big moment in this game, and it's over.
And that is going to be it. DMO with the clean ace. Well, if they can take down BBD here, but I mean, it doesn't matter.
He's played so damn well. And for DMO, heading on for their second game win. Watch this one, ladies and gentlemen, because he doesn't die. DMO, with their second game win here in Summer, lead the series against EDG.
DMO, who we criticized coming into this game, stepped up massively against EDG. Xiaopeng controlling